I was 2 bites into the juiciest grilled steak I'd had in weeks when a woman in khaki shorts and a sun hat marched straight into my campsite and yelled, "This land is under citizen regulation. Pack it up or I'm calling the Environmental Task Force." I blinked, mid-bite, and calmly asked, "Do you know you just crossed onto private land with 6 hidden trail cams and a drone recording you right now?" She didn't flinch. She whipped out a laminated card that read Regional Park Compliance Officer in Comic Sans font. The desert had finally granted me peace until Karen arrived. It was supposed to be a calm, recharging weekend. Just me, my solar-powered grill, a campfire, and a wide expanse of wilderness along southern Arizona's border. My friend Lucas, a licensed wildlife ranger, had secured access for me on a slice of land owned by a conservation group. Permits? Filed, signed, notarized. Everything was legal and squared away. After slogging through 50-hour weeks on a remote video editing contract, all I wanted was fire-roasted food under the stars. That dream got stomped on when Karen marched through the brush like a power-tripping park-themed Terminator, blonde bob, oversized sunglasses, and the righteous tone of someone who once read a park brochure a decade ago. She didn't ask if I had a permit. She launched straight into accusations, disrupting migratory paths, conducting an unapproved combustion event, posing a risk to federal pollinators, which she decided on while glaring at a bee near my lantern. I showed her my laminated permit. She scoffed. "That looks fake," she snapped. "I've patrolled this land for years. I know real permits." That was hilarious. No one patrolled here unless they wore actual uniforms and issued boots. She wore sandals. With socks. Then she produced a clipboard from nowhere, scribbled something on a blank page, and shoved it under a rock by my cooler. "Consider yourself cited. This is a temporary seizure pending environmental review." I asked who'd conduct the review. "I will." "I'm qualified," she replied. "Qualified in what? Harassment?" The next morning, I woke up to a neon orange sticker on my tent. Warning. Unsanctioned occupation. Eviction notice. Another was on my chair. Another on my truck. She stood atop a rock, arms folded, surveying the area like she was auditioning for Mall Cop of the Year. When I approached, she blocked me with the clipboard. "This site is under ecological assessment. I've collected evidence. Vacate or face removal." Again, I explained calmly that I had permission. I even offered the conservation group's contact info. She snatched the paper, skimmed it, muttered Photoshop, and went back to pacing. So I started recording. I launched my drone and let it hover. Every Karen antic caught in 4K. She didn't notice at first, too busy taping ribbons around my camp like a low-budget crime scene. When she did notice, she waved her clipboard at it and yelled, "That's illegal surveillance." The irony nearly floored me. She then pulled out her phone. "I'm calling my contacts. People in the department." "What department?" "You don't need to know. You'll find out." No one ever showed. That night, I heard rustling. My trail cams had been tampered with. One was missing. Another was twisted to face a rock. One had a sticky note, "Invasion of privacy." Evidence seized. It was her handwriting. I was irritated but intrigued. Who was this woman? She wasn't harmless but not dangerous either. She was cosplay park ranger with a vendetta. Then came the turning point. The next morning, a row of signs popped up on the main trail. Property closed. Violators subject to enforcement. They were stapled to plywood, printed with an inkjet printer. She had tried to block a federal trail used by wildlife rangers and border patrol. That was a massive mistake. A quarter-mile past that point? Federal surveillance land. Karen had no clue. She thought she was the star of some ranger-themed drama. In reality, she was illegally impersonating an officer on federally protected land. The thing about people like Karen, they don't stop. You can show them permits, laws, logic. They don't hear it. To them, you're just a trespasser in their fantasy. Day 3, I woke up to a caution tape barricade across the access road. She taped it to rocks and chairs. One chair had a sign, "Restricted Zone, Environmental Audit in Progress. Authorized personnel only." She even cited Federal Code 8.9.66F, which, according to Google, was about plumbing violations in Minnesota. I almost admired her commitment. The clipboard had become a binder. The sun hat now came with a whistle. She wore a bright orange jogging vest, not even a safety one, just reflective. She strutted into my camp, blowing the whistle. "Still cooking," she scolded, pointing at my grill. "Confiscation required. It attracts invasive pollinators." I told her unless she had a badge or a warrant, the grill stayed. She whipped out her phone. "I've submitted violations to the agency." "What agency?" No answer. Then she said she had photographic evidence of my environmental crimes. "Full case file," she bragged. "Drone footage, trail cam shots, and one of you pouring soap near a protected cactus." That stopped me. Soap? Protected cactus? I checked my gear again. Memory cards were gone except one fried from being pointed at the sun. Another sticky note. Confiscated under Community Standards, Section 17. I called Lucas. He showed up in a marked Ranger truck, full uniform, ID, the real deal. The contrast between him and Karen was absurd. He saw the fake barricade and laughed so hard he had to lean on his truck. "You got yourself a full-on fake Ranger," he said. I showed him the glitter pen citations. One said, "Fire equals bad," with a sad marshmallow stick figure. Karen reappeared with binoculars around her neck. She froze at the sight of Lucas's truck, then marched forward. "Who are you?" she snapped. Lucas introduced himself and showed ID. "I authorized this camp." "And you are?" "Karen Lansdale, Regional Compliance Officer. Dispatched by the Green Watchers." Lucas raised an eyebrow. "Green Watchers? Local enforcement support group. Very exclusive. Never heard of it." "You wouldn't have." He explained calmly she was trespassing and tampering with private property. She ranted about bats and habitat safety, claiming she had evidence. Lucas remained patient, but firm. She stormed off, muttering about a citizen's lawsuit. "She's not done," Lucas warned. "People like her push one step too far." He was right. Hours later, my drone caught her marching down the federal trail, past multiple no-entry signs. She even ripped one down and kept walking. "She's in Border Patrol territory now," I told Lucas. He made a call. Border Patrol didn't take long. 2 unmarked SUVs rolled up silently. One agent stayed to question me. The other followed GPS from my drone. I showed the footage, permits, fake notes. The agent sighed. "We've had a few like her. Doesn't end well." On screen, Karen was mid-barricade, taping signs when the SUV approached. She turned, whistle ready, and blew twice like it meant something. Then came shouting. She waved her fake badge, ranted about volunteer authority, refused ID. The agents weren't impressed. They called her name in, confirmed multiple complaints, and discovered an active bench warrant for a previous trespass case. The cuffs came out. Karen screamed, "You can't arrest me. I'm performing a field audit. You're trespassing on federal land, resisting orders, and impersonating an officer," the agent replied. As they led her past my camp, she hissed at me, "You did this. You think you won. Safe travels, Karen," I said. Just like that, she was gone. The dust settled. Karen's fake signs were removed. Lucas helped reset my cameras. We laughed at her glitter citations. That evening, I grilled another steak. Tasted better than the first. Peace had returned. The desert, once again, was quiet. The next morning, I reviewed the footage. Every moment, from whistle to cuffs, captured. I edited a short video, added music, uploaded it for friends. By nightfall, it hit 10,000 views. Then 50,000. Comments poured in. Memes followed. One showed Karen posing with a fake sign, then tripping over a rock. Even Ranger forums shared the video. Turns out Karen had tried similar stunts elsewhere. Lucas stopped by later. We toasted marshmallows and laughed about Karen's made-up departments. Bureau of Terrain Neutralization, Green Watchers Enforcement. "We should start our own squad," I joked. "We'd be more legit than her," he replied, raising a marshmallow. That night, the stars lit up the sky. No noise. No drama. Just peace. A reporter messaged me. The story made it to small news sites. The conservation group reached out too. They confirmed Karen had no connection and thanked me for the footage. They even invited me back. Karen's court outcome? Fined. Trespassing charge. Banned from federal land for 3 years. Her impersonation charges didn't stick, but her record was flagged. She even tried to countersue Border Patrol. The case was dismissed in minutes. As I finally packed up, I smiled. Karen had picked the wrong campsite. The trails were clear. The fake caution tape gone. The air smelled like mesquite, not entitlement. And as I drove off, I left only tire tracks and one hell of a story behind.